I'm in Fall River, Massachusetts, looking for the grave of the infamous Lizzie Borden, who took an axe and gave her mother 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41. Other than that preciously gruesome nursery rhyme that I learned as a child, I never knew much about Lizzie Borden until I decided to visit the area and read a book to learn about the case. Here's the grave. Buried with the parents she allegedly butchered. Well, that's awkward. Awkward for eternity. Mr. Borden's headstone. Coins. The murders were believed to be money motivated. Lizzie was upset about her inheritance. Lizzie's grave. A black rose. This house is the scene of the crime. It's now a combination museum and bed and breakfast. Tickets for the house tour are sold in this building. This is where the barn was and where Lizzie claimed to be while the murders were committed. But the maid disputed that. She heard Lizzie in the house. Oh, it's a gift shop too. A bib for the depraved baby. Crime scene coffee cups. Well, that's different. That creepy looking doll was the actual doll that Lizzie played with as a child. Lizzie bobblehead. Ooh, I want one. The decor in the house was duplicated using crime scene photos. What was Lizzie playing on the piano? You can't chop your papa up in Massachusetts. Ha! In the Victorian era, human hair of deceased relatives was used to create artwork, which is morbidly bizarre. Video of the house tour wasn't allowed, but photos were. The tour guide led us into the dining room, where an autopsy of Mr. and Mrs. Borden was performed right on the dining room table. They were looking for signs they were poisoned before being attacked, because they were violently ill before the murders, and Mrs. Borden insisted that they were poisoned by one of Mr. Borden's many enemies he had acquired as a shrewd businessman. A pharmacist claimed that Lizzie tried to buy poison before the murders, but the poison was illegal without a prescription, and no poison was found in their bodies. Their heads were shaved so the head wounds could be examined. It was alleged that Lizzie was angry that her wealthy father was spending her inheritance on his second wife's family. Lizzie and her sister coldly called their stepmother Mrs. Borden as if she were an acquaintance. Mrs. Borden was found to have received more whacks with the murder weapon than her husband did. This is the room where Mr. Borden was killed. I tried to summon the spirit of the murderer. People stay overnight in this house, and some have had supernatural experiences. The tour guide claims to have had contact with ghosts, and her phone mysteriously started playing music in the middle of the tour, even though she had shut off her phone as she advised everyone to do the same. This is the bedroom where Mrs. Borden's body was found. Some especially morbid people that stay in this room sleep on the floor instead of the bed in the exact spot where Mrs. Borden lay dead. This was an outstanding hour-long tour with a ton of interesting stories and facts and speculation by a very knowledgeable tour guide in a beautiful Victorian home. This was a fascinating case because there was no solid proof that Lizzie killed her parents, but enough circumstantial evidence to make people wonder for all these years. Lizzie was found not guilty by a jury of 12 men who could not believe that a woman could be capable of such a brutal crime. After her acquittal, Lizzie spent part of her inheritance on a mansion not far from here. She was shunned by the people of this town, and children taunted her with that rhyme right outside the window of her home until the day she died decades later. I just had to buy that Lizzie bobblehead. Maybe I'll change the name of this channel to Travels with Lizzie.
Don't even.